How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about SOS and EBON. Both of these stocks had a strong day in the market and we're going to be talking about it. So before we get started, let's go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, just to let you know, we have timestamps down below in the description. But I do caution the fact that, hey, you want to make sure you watch a good portion of the videos or even the whole video if you're in either of these stocks, because like I said, you can add this to your homework and your due diligence. So the first thing that we're going to be covering is the recent press release that came from SOS. It was an update in regards to their mining rigs, which definitely had an impact on the stock. Secondly, then we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SOS and EBON. I feel this is key to know what the price action is actually looking like. We saw some strength today, but what else do we need to see to tell us, well, you know what, things are looking very bullish and it could get to those price points that we're looking for. And then after that, we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. What is the overall market sentiment? Are institutions continuing to load the boat on these stocks? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're now on the official SOS website and we're going to be going over the recent press release that came out today. So SOS Limited launches 6,039 mining rigs as it scales up crypto mining operations. SOS announced today that 6,039 mining rigs received over the past month have all been put into operation, including a batch of 575 Ethereum mining rigs received on May 7, 2021, and another batch of 5,464 rigs from the third and final installation of our purchase received in April. The 575 Ethereum rigs are expected to generate approximately 400 gigahashes a second, and the 5,464 rigs are expected to generate an aggregate of approximately 177 petahashes a second for mining Bitcoin and 356 gigahashes per second for mining Ethereum. Currently, across all mining fleet operations, SOS's total capacity is expected to generate approximately 527 petahashes a second for mining Bitcoin and 1,456 gigahashes a second for mining Ethereum. SOS currently gets over 90% of its energy for mining operations from renewable sources. If the mining operations perform as expected and the long-term price trends of applicable cryptocurrencies continue, the return on investment is projected to be promising. These hash rates are subject to numerous factors, including downtime for maintenance, reconfiguration, and other variable factors that may materially impact computing performance in the future. Mr. Yangdang Wang, CEO of SOS, commented, "With the completion of Phase 1 of the Libadong mine and continued expansion of our mining fleet, we are pleased with the progress on our digital currency business plan based on blockchain technology. The launch of our mining business has provided valuable experience to our team and is expected to be an important driver of growth in 2021 and beyond." So this was definitely a great update we got from SOS today. It's good to see things are now in operation, and then on top of that, they're still focusing and maintaining their focus in regards to renewable source. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SOS. Let's take a look at how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.37, being up 3.37% on the day. On the low, it tested $3.26, and then on the high, testing $3.60. So before we actually get started, the chart that we're actually looking at is a 6-month, 2-hour chart. We want to see how it's been going down, how's it been looking as of late. So when we take a look, the first thing we can see down below at the RSI, it is right around 47, so just a little bit below fair value, which we call at 50. Also do keep in mind, as far as our indicators are concerned, it's still below the 200-day, the 100-day, but we're seeing some momentum here above the 21-day EMA at $3.36. So I want to see this area actually hold. We tested $3.26 and we're able to actually use that as an area of support on the day. So I want to see this 320 area actually just hold up. If this 320 area can hold up and we can establish a support area here at 330, that will definitely be great to see. key. We did end up testing 360 today, but do keep in mind around this mid 360 area as an area of resistance. So if we're able to actually get past this area, we'll meet a next level here at $4, which I believe is a psychological level and is very close to where we have the 100-day. So if we're able to get to that $4 range and have a lot of buying pressure, a lot of volume coming in, then we could definitely make that move and get into this 460 area where we meet another area of resistance. And again, it all depends whether we get a catalyst or so forth, or we have more institutions and more buying going on. We could definitely make that move to 5. But what I'm looking for this week, I want to see a test of $4. I want to see that by Friday. If we don't get it, that's fine. But what I do want to see is new areas of support actually being established. We have areas of support in these ranges in the past, and that's why I want to see SOS actually get back to it. So we're on Fintel. We're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for SOS. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. And as you can see here, it's definitely looking bullish among institutions. They are investing heavily in SOS at the moment. I hope you guys are seeing all this green on your screen, taking into consideration all of the heavy buying we saw on the 17th alone as well as the 14th. So things are definitely looking good on the institutional side. So if we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio is at 11%. So what does this mean? Hey, as far as the overall market sentiment, it is not negative. So that is good. If we look at the short shares availability, it stands at 550,000, updated as of 1 minute ago. And if we look at the short borrow free rate, it stands at 10.31%. Looking at the previous history of the short volume ratio, we can see here at 11, this is as low as it's been, right? The last time it actually got to this particular area was actually on May the 4th, where it was at 11.64. So just taking that into consideration, hey, this is definitely great to see that now it's at 10 for the short volume ratio. So overall, market sentiment seems to be good around SOS, and it looks like, hey, it's only up from here. But again, this is pending on market conditions and as well as cryptocurrency. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for EBON. So let's take a look at how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $3.18, being up 5.65% on the day. On the low, it tested $2.85, and then on the high, testing $3.20. So before we get started, the chart that we're looking at is actually the 6-month 2-hour chart. And what we want to take a look at first are our indicators. So right now, currently, EBON is below our 200-day, the 100-day, but we're seeing some strength with it riding above the 21-day EMA, where it's set at around $3. And the fact that it closed at $3.18 is definitely looking really good. So what I want to see from EBON is coming here to reclaim the 100-day right here at $3.78. I think that is very doable, and I'm looking forward to seeing this done before the end of the month. If it doesn't happen, I know it's going to be happening soon, especially if the market begins to recover and rebound. If we take a look at the RSI down below, it is around 58, so it's a little bit above fair value, but do keep in mind, this is not a yearly chart. If we take a look at the yearly chart quickly, it would be a lot lower. The RSI, of course, is going to be different. It's around that 30 range, right? Which means that it is oversold. But since we're looking at the 6-month here, what we want to see is this RSI continue to get up higher, because this will show us, hey, that means it's starting to look bullish. There's a lot more buying volume coming in. There's more demand for these shares. So this is part of the reasons for my price target of $4. I think it is very key for EBON to get back there, because if it does, I can see this stock running. But do know that $4 area is going to be an area of resistance. Also take into consideration this area right here around 350 is going to be an area of resistance. So if we're able to gain a lot of momentum, a lot of steam, we could definitely get to that $4 area. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. If it does decide to pull back, you guys already know what areas to look out for. You saw that it pulled back to 285, so that's an area to look out for if you're considering to add. And if it ever did decide to pull back even further, you have other areas here around 260. But from what I'm seeing right now, I feel like we've already kind of hit the bottom for EBON, and I feel like it's only up from here. And if it does pull back, it'll be in those particular areas that I just listed. So we're on Fintel, and we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for EBON. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as you can see from the 17th alone, institutions are definitely loading up on EBON. We also do see that we had 3 institutions that ended up closing out their full positions. But for the most part, EBON is definitely looking bullish on the institutional side. Also, another thing to do keep in mind, we have a notable name here in Citadel Advisors going in with 722,623 shares. So again, we know institutions are not going to be investing heavy if they do not see a potential return on their investment. So now let's take a look at the short interest. As we take a look at the short interest information for EBON, short volume ratio is at 11%. And this is as of close from yesterday. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 2.3 million. And if we take a look at the short borrow free rate, that stands at 1.87%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, it is definitely on a low, right? We didn't get into this 11 range back on May the 4th. It was 11.96, and basically you can call that 12. So what is this telling us? We already talked about that, hey, EBON has already met its bottom. So it's literally only up from here, and shorts are seeing that. They're like, hey, there's not much more room to short this particular stock, and that's good because that just tells us we can have some more moves going to the upside. So for my final thoughts for SOS and EBON, let's start with SOS. We have institutions who are loading up. We see that their mining rigs are now into operations, which had an impact on the overall stock price. So what do I see from here on out? I want to see a lot of price action to the upside. And we also want to see those increasing levels of support. That is key here. Do keep in mind, if you've been paying attention to what's going on in cryptos in regards to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth, they are definitely pulling back at the moment. So do keep in mind if they do decide to pull back even further, it will have an impact on both of these stocks. But for the most part, in regards to SOS, it was great to hear that, you know what, things are fully into operations there. We already know this is a profitable company even before they started pivoting into doing cryptocurrencies. And for the last point I'm going to be making about SOS, I love the fact in regards to their mining operations, they want to use at least 90% renewable energy. We already heard about with Bitcoin and how much power consumption it needs. So taking this into consideration, this is definitely going to set SOS apart from the competition. There are other stocks like we talk about on this channel, like Hive, that does use renewable energy and so forth, but SOS getting into this particular area as well does bode well for them. Now, what we have to do now is just be patient and then see how this actually unfolds, especially as time goes on and as we get further earning reports. Now, in the sake for EBON, it was great seeing the price action that it had today. And we talked about that, hey, EBON has already established its bottom. It's time to go up from here. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. So anyone who's holding shares like myself in both of these stocks, things are looking really good. But do keep in mind, there still could be some more volatility as this week progresses and even towards the end of the month. But I do feel it is now time for these stocks to start showing some strength, especially in the tech sector. So what I want to update you guys on, hey, it's going to be a bumpy ride, and anyone who's been holding like myself, my hat's off to you. Again, there's a lot of cycles that go down in the market, and it really does separate the people that know what they're actually holding and what the value of those companies actually are, and it's definitely key in times like these. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.